Joining us this morning, we have Sam Logsdon, Segway Sam, owns Titusville Seg Tours and the Iron Axe. And if you haven't had a chance to sit down and chat with Sam, very interesting guy, and we're going to have that conversation with you now. Sam, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Good to see you. So we've had you on before. We've kind of talked about the Seg Tours, but I really want to get into where you're at now with the business, the Iron Axe part of it. But for those who maybe don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background?
Well, I was born and raised Titusville. Graduated here in high school in '86. Went off to Connecticut. Spent most of my adult life there. I was offered early retirement. Came back to Titusville a few years ago with my wife and I. We ended up purchasing the Outgrown building, the one with the tower across the street from the post office. We had a vacant storefront. We were trying to get it occupied, and they just woke up one night and said, "Let's ride Segways." To that point, I'd never ridden a Segway before.
Nice.
We make a commitment to buy 10 of them, and I go down to Gettysburg and figure out how to ride them, and it was a challenge, and it was a good time.
So behind that, though? I mean, you say Gettysburg. Is that because it kind of mounted this new fun technology with
they had
history?
An existing tour group down there that I'd made contact with when I was researching the business. And so he invited us to come down and spend a day with them. And so we went down there and did that.
I mean, you obviously have an interest in the history.
We love the history. We have the city has a great history. We have that history that we've all been taught about in school, but there's so much other stuff that we can't talk about in school that happened. When that 20, 30-year period in time where Titusville was the richest city per capita, when we look at all that money, drew all that vice. So there was huge stories of crime, robberies, murders. And so these are some of the stories that we relate to when we're giving our tours, trying to give you that darker side of the history, and as well as the more popular stuff, the impact of the oil, some of the treasures that were kept in the town at the time. So we're thinking we offer a nice rounded package, something for everybody.
Was it fun to kind of design the business and the tour itself, what you were going to offer people? Because it's something that I'm sure you could change up every so often.
We do. We have different stories depending on what this group wants and these different things that we talk about. But actually reading the newspapers and doing the initial research was just an absolute ball. If you have a chance to read this with the writing style of these old reporters, and everything is just so slanderous the way they talk. It was just a great entertaining experience just to actually do that physical research as well.
So within the last year, you moved your office?
Yes, we left from the Outgrown building. We relocated down to the Iron Works, and in the process of doing that, we decided we were going to build axe throwing as well.
How did that come about? Oh, maybe I don't want to know.
Similar story the way the Segways did.
Okay.
We had, we were going to move down there, and then my sister came home from Lycoming and said she did axe throwing. You need to do this, and said, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just kind of jump in blind.
See, at least it wasn't like, man, I got into a fight with the wife.
Yeah.
She threw something at me.
She threw it. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
No, it wasn't quite that bad.
It's beautiful down there. You put a lot of work and effort into just making that like a really cool spot to be.
That's what we were trying to do, try to make something that's going to be eye-catching to you. Other places that we can offer something that the other axe throwings don't, and that was the option that we went. Also, we had just upgraded in the past couple of weeks to a projected target. So our targets aren't painted on the wall anymore. There are PowerPoint projectors in the ceiling that are projecting the targets.
Wow, that's amazing.
So we have different games and stuff you can play there. We have like tic-tac-toe, Connect 4.
Oh, that's interesting.
As well as regular targets, zombies. So.
Oh, I've never heard of that with the axe throwing. No.
That's cool.
That
All right,
option.
so in addition to that, I think you also have bike rentals.
Yes. yes. We had purchased 10 bikes, multiple sizes, different options for families. We figured this was something that we can offer to the community. The bike rentals are $5 an hour or $25 for a full day. We think this is something that's really reasonable to get some of the people to not necessarily have the time or the equipment to stop and enjoy some of the entities that we have here, like the trail.
Yeah.
And this is an opportunity to get that exposure to us.
Well, the other thing is you hear like folks from the OC&T say, "Oh, we didn't realize you transported people who ride their bikes on the trail back. I would have brought my bike." Hey, you can
there you
rent a
go.
bike and
Yes.
experience that.
Yeah. Yep.
All
Yep.
right.
That's a really good opportunity, really good trip, and the train is more than happy to do that with you.
You've really fostered some great relationships with those folks, and it sort of works both ways. They look at you and go, "Well, this is a very unique opportunity. Not everybody has Segways that they can tour a city and learn the history."
Yeah. This is a good relationship, and when we were first putting together our business plan on this, that was the first place I went to. What is their ridership? When you have an organization that brings roughly 20,000 people to a community the size of Titusville annually, this is worth 20,000 people. That's worth building your business plan around, and so this is what we did.
When somebody calls, is that the best way to schedule a tour? They give you a call or they stop down?
Yeah, the best way is to make contact via the phone. It's area code 814-775-0442. And, we'll take care of you. If nobody answers, I'm on tour, just leave a message.
And so when they do that, or if they're bringing a group of people, are they presented with tour options, or do you just say, "Okay, well, this is what we're going to do"?
Right now we offer 2 tours, lack of a better word. We have one, the historical tour, and that's one everyone seems to be talking most about. That's an hour and a half to 2 hour long, depending on if you want to go to get the city limits ice cream option.
Oh, yes, people talk about that.
Yeah.
So, take a ride out to city limits, get ice cream. So the tour route is established, but the stories that we talk about change depending on what this group demographics make up. What do they want to hear? So we do make it appropriate for everybody.
So you mentioned an hour and a half, 2 hours. Where are some of the places you visit? And I assume you stop at different locations.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So in a lot of the stories that when we're riding by, we're telling the stories that happen along like Oil Creek, the freshettes with the damming and breaking of the dams, the transport of the water, the oil downstream. We go down as far to the bike trail entrance, and then we'll come back up on the road march the rest of the way. We go through Tar, Scheide, the Heisman. So, and then there's this
That'd be
bunch of
interesting.
stories just along the way that we talk about.
I'm sure you get people that say, "I'd love to do this. I've never been on one. I don't think I can operate one."
So I never was on one until I was on one. They are really easy to run. After a 5-minute learning curve, I think you can attest to this.
Yes.
There is this 5-minute learning curve, and then everyone has this light bulb moment, and then they actually become intuitive.
Yeah.
You wish where they want to go, and they will go there. It's learning to trust that technology and just stand there and don't balance. If you get in and you start doing the wobble, it's because you're trying to balance at the same time the gyros are trying to balance you, and you're fighting it.
Yeah.
So after that first couple of minutes, everybody struggles, but after that, it's really intuitive. So far, I was keeping a running poll over what was the age. And so the oldest age that was admitted to me was 85.
Wow.
And I made comment to that, and this one woman turned around and looked at me and goes, "Oh, honey, I got that beat by a long shot." So is 85 plus, so I don't know how old she happened to be, but that was the
So anybody
for
can do
all
this.
ages.
Yes.
fun for all ages. We do know we no longer have a minimum age, but we do have a minimum weight requirement, and we're going to ask you to be around 100 pounds, just so you can hit all of the sensors on the Segways. But quite
Gotcha.
frankly, there's 12-year-olds out a little bigger than I am that have no problem riding these things. So we had changed that up this year.
Okay. Now, before you getting on and doing a tour, there's just a few minutes beforehand where there's some safety?
Yeah, we watch a safety video, and then we do just simple mount, dismount, on, off, how to make the thing work. And then we go out around back in the alley, and we'll just sit there and practice and just slowly move around in a column until everybody's comfortable before we actually go out on a ride.
What's the feedback when people get back and they've experienced? I mean, because again, you mentioned ages, that range.
Right. Everybody so far has nothing but positive feedback for me, and they love riding the Segways. The only complaint I actually heard was for the first half of the tour, people don't remember the stories because they're over concentrating on riding the Segway.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and some of the good stories are in the front of the tour, so maybe we're going to switch those around and put the good ones a little later on.
When we're concentrating more.
Yeah.
Oh, that is funny. Yeah, so after a little bit, as you said, it's like riding a bike.
Yeah, they become intuitive.
Well, and then what's nice is after the tour, just go right down and throw some axes down at the Ironworks.
And unwind.
Because it's a beautiful venue down there. Is it attracting parties at this point, or are you capable of having?
We are having some private events. We have private events scheduled on our calendar coming up for August, that there's going to be a few. And we do have that availability. If you're looking to have a private event, we can work about hosting it.
It'd be a perfect place for birthdays or family reunions or even office after hours. It'd be fun.
You've got Oil Festival coming up next week. Yeah. Should people call ahead and schedule anything, or?
We are always going to be available for walk-ins, but yes, if you want to make sure that you have your time slot for the Segways, give us a call, because we are going to be limited on those days for the weekend.
You've got, well, let's do this real quick. You're watching the Morning Drill on Stream Television and on Armstrong's Neighborhood Channel, and listening to it on the Allegheny News Talk Sports Network. Sam Logsdon with us here this morning, Titusville Seg Tours. Segway Sam. It's funny, we were in the store the other day, and you walked in, I think our youngest was like, Dad, that's Segway Sam.
Yeah, he's famous.
Yeah.
He's a celebrity.
But you got, as Corey was saying, it's such a great area. You got tables set up for people to just kind of sit down. They can unwind. They can throw axes. They can, just really enjoy an evening. If folks are grabbing something to drink from Ironworks, are they able to bring it right out and sit?
We designed that whole area so we can accommodate those businesses that are there at the Ironworks. So if you want to go get beer, have it at your table, go get a burger or something from the bus, come in, you're more than welcome to bring your food and drinks that you get from the Ironworks or the Magic Bus to come on in and have them while you're throwing axes and enjoy your night.
That's great.
Yeah,
we were talking back, there's like axe throwing tournaments, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the actual kicker that said, we were going to do this, and I'm sitting there flicking through the TV around December and pulled across ESPN, and they were visiting, and they had the national championships. So I'm thinking, all right, so we're going to jump on this bandwagon now.
So look for leagues to start, or how?
Leagues, we're hoping to have leagues. There's a lot. We were hoping to have them up and running by now, but with the whole new business thing, so definitely by next year, leagues will be up and running.
Wow. All right.
So, and if you're interested in doing leagues, stop down and let us know so we can keep track of everybody who's doing it. But I'll tell you right now, when the leagues get going, the bus team is going to be the team to beat. By watching the regulars who are throwing right now, that bus team really has the stuff together.
Wow. Yeah. Is there so like the Segways? There's a few minutes beforehand to kind of learn everything. Is there like a list of things you have to go through with the axe throwing?
Yeah, we go through safety beforehand, and then we offer some instruction. When you purchase your time, a lot of places start that time as soon as you go in the door. We don't. We wait until after we go through the safety briefing and do some educational instruction with you. And then when we're done and everybody actually knows how to throw the axe, that's when we start our time.
Okay. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So, so we were down there, about a month ago?
Yeah.
Is there technique involved? Do you like go up to folks and say, hey, listen, try this? Or?
Yeah. We'll go through and we'll work with you a little bit. Now, I tell this story a lot. My wife, Christine, since we bought this, she throws better than I do. And so now I have a new name for her. Yes, dear.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, dear.
So she definitely impresses me. When she's on, she is on.
Well, so mention this too, because it's not just axes that people can throw.
We have a bunch of axes. We do have other things. We have throwing stars that are just fun. Who doesn't want to flash back to your teenage years when you play Ninja? And then also we have, we're waiting on our order of shovels to come in.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, small little throwing shovels, little entrenching tools that we're throwing up against the targets, and they are a ball.
Yeah.
I know when we were down there filming the commercial and your son Cullen, he was a little reluctant. And then I showed him the throwing star and he's like, he came like running. He wanted to throw that throwing star.
Yeah.
He really did. He was like, yeah, I'm doing this.
But I mean, it takes a little bit. Well, it takes practice, and
It does. There's no doubt about it.
It is a skill set, and we like to tell everybody
I'm a testament to that.
when your first couple of throws, we don't even care if you hit or stack. We know that the axes that we instruct you on have one rotation in 12 foot. So we have the 12-foot mark. And so we're going to sit there and we're going to throw. Now, we don't care if they stick, but we're looking for consistency.
Yeah.
Always consistent hitting one side of the axe, we can fix that by just backing up a couple inches until you're going to find your spot for your body mechanics. So there is a learning curve, and by the end of your session, everybody is having a ball.
So as Corey kind of mentioned, I mean, you can bring a party down there and just have a great time.
Yeah. Yep.
So ideally, I mean, you could do the Seg Tour, and then, as Corey said, come back and throw axes.
Absolutely.
Sit and have a drink, something to eat. I mean, you could make a real nice evening.
Yeah,
out of this.
we can make this. This could be a great date night for people.
Yeah.
So
It's a one-stop shop, really. For a
One-stop
date
shop.
night,
That's
you can't
right.
beat it.
Yeah.
And plus with live music every Friday and Saturday night at the Ironworks. You have the bus, Joe with the bus out front every day. This is a really good place to
It's
and hang
like
out.
a
Enjoy an
really cool
evening.
happening place to do that.
Yeah.
Sam, I'm just thinking, like, you have all the stress from the week, right? What a great way to release
Yeah.
some stress.
I will attest to you that this is really therapeutical. We've all had that day, no matter what you touch, just crumbles in front of you.
Yeah.
I was having that day, and I went down there, and I just started throwing, and within a half hour, all that stress was gone.
You were feeling a lot better,
Yeah.
more at ease.
I'm sure you enjoy everything, all aspects of your business, but is there something you enjoy more than another, or you just having fun with all of it?
I am a social butterfly. I love to engage and talk. And meeting new people and sharing our history of our town with the Segways and the stories, that is the most rewarding part of what we have, is just sharing this community with people.
What a memorable way to learn about the town. If you're coming in as a visitor, what a fantastic opportunity to just kind of know the history and see some really beautiful spots in town. So, or maybe it's been a while since you've been here, or maybe you've lived here all your life and you just haven't. You probably hear that a lot too, right? I've lived here all my life. I haven't been to Drakewell since 4th grade.
Right.
Yeah, right. Now, I've had people tell me that, I really don't want to hear the tour, but because I've been here lived here my whole life, and I already know all this stuff. And, well, we're going to tell, because I want to talk, I'm going to tell you anyways. And at the end, everybody has said, wow, I didn't know all of this.
Yeah.
So, because we aren't just going to cover the whole Drake aspect. There is other history in our town that is just as fascinating that didn't get the coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you would like to learn about that history and have some fun and ride a Segway, Titusville Seg Tours, place to go. And then afterwards, hang out, throw some axes, and just have a great, get something to eat.
Yeah.
It's a great time. So Sam, again, tell us how folks can find you. What's the phone number? And again, encourage folks to call now, especially if they're coming in next week, because it's going to be pretty busy.
Busy.
Busy. Facebook is Titusville Seg Tours and the Iron Axe. Each business has a page. We share a phone number between the two establishments, Iron Axe and the Titusville Seg Tours, and that is area code 775-0224.
Good to see you, Sam.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, all the best.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks.
Look forward to seeing you down there. We'll have to do a tour because it sounds like a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
If Ron can ride a Segway.
Hey, listen,
Yeah,
if Ron can ride the Segway, and Ron's actually quite good.
No, he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Brother-in-law Ron, right?
Yep, there you go.
All right, guys. Good to see you, and enjoy Oil Festival. I'm
Thank
sure
you
it's
very
going to be a
much.
busy time for you. A lot of acts. But you'll be hearing those axes.
Yeah, you will.
Hitting those
Thump,
boards.
thump, thump.
Yeah.
Thump.
That's a good sound to hear.
Yes,
right?
it is.